One of the chief differences between the Epic Games Stor and Steam, outside of revenue share splits, is the farmer's lack of user reviews and other feedback-focused tools. But Epic Games founder Tim Sweeney says that difference will not stand for long. Epic Games currently has a review system in the works for its store, though Sweeney notes that developers will not be required to have user reviews on their games' store pages. Instead, the system will require devs to opt into reviews, something Sweeney notes on Twitter aims to counteract review bombing and other gaming the system type issues that tend to plague user reviews. The system will be based on the review setup of the Unreal Engine marketplace. As well, Steam has introduced changes to its own review system in the past to try and mitigate review bombing. When people flood a game with negative reviews as a reaction to something other than the game's quality, Steam will flag when a high number of reviews suddenly flow in and display a chart showing review trends when it detects foul play. All of the safeguards can currently be found on the Steam Store pages for Metro 2033 Redux and Metro Last Light Redux were scorned. Steam users are bombarding both games with negative reviews to protest Deep Silver's recent decision to host the latest PC Metro game, Metro Exodus, exclusively on the Epic Games Stor for 1 year. A quiet update to the App Store review guidelines suggests that the officially OSAT marketplace is looking to enable gifting for in-app purchases in the future, whereas previous rules limited gifting to only full apps. The change, first spotted by Macromers, went live yesterday, though Apple has yet to officially announce the new policy or detail how the change will affect things on iOS developers' side of the fence. The section that directly addressed and outlawed gifting in-app purchases like content, features, or consumable items has now been replaced by the text. Apps may enable gifting of items that are eligible for in-app purchase to others. Such gifts may only be refunded to the original purchaser and may not be exchanged. Previously, that line read, apps should not directly or indirectly enable gifting of in-app purchase content, features, or consumable items to others. The new policy potentially means devs with free-to-play or other in-app purchase-friendly games on the App Store could be seen a revenue boost as players are given the ability to purchase in-game currency or items for friends. Happy holidays! It's a popular season for mobile games. What with so many people traveling for the holidays, and at next year's Game Developers Conference you will get an inside look at how one of King's latest and greatest was made. As part of the 2019 X-Mobile Summit, King will be presenting a post-mortem look at its latest Candy Crush game, in expanding the world of Candy Crush. A post-mortem on Candy Crush Friends Saga, featuring principal game designer Jeremy Can, studio-led narrative design Tracy Dawn, and senior director of visual development Robert McKenzie. This session will walk through the process of how the development team expanded the game world and built upon this billion-dollar to create a more accessible game, including adding collection and other gameplay elements, redesigning the look of the characters, and retrofitting a new narrative foundation. Make time to attend, and you are likely to walk away with practical learnings about the game design, art vision, and the strategy behind the making of this new Candy Crush game, as well as the goals and challenges of expanding the world of this successful IP. For more details on this talk, and many more, check out THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your DD week, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD. Register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more here. For more details on GDC 2000 on 19 visit the show's official website. Or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, or RSS. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. There are a lot of games released into the market every year, and we cover this trend. This inundation of games filling the marketplace. It's a trend that complicates the chance for success and recognition. From developer to developer, from game to game. That was true as ever in 2018. But among other stuff, there has not been a real complaint about there being too many games. We get it, there are a lot of games. But no one would say there are too many games if there were not so many games that were great. There were so many games that were great in 2018. Here are the 10 games that stood out in the minds of GAMASUTRASWRITERS this year. Selections in alphabetical order. WHENCELASTEFIRST came out this year. I played it for maybe a half hour, and then stopped. I just was not in the mood for yet another hard-as-hell platformer. It was not until I picked it back up at the end of the year, when I completely fell in love with it, and appreciated what it was doing. Yes, the game is difficult, but the way the story addresses that difficulty, and emboldens the player to keep climbing, is absolutely brilliant. Celeste shows us that we can build our own worst enemy, but that enemy is still an innate part of who we are, and having a friend or to help you realize that along the way never hurts. Mechanically, it's a simple concept for a player to understand. Jump, dash, and grab. The game masterfully introduces players to the traversal mechanics, then sprinkles in level design elements where players have to use those basic skills in ways. It all just feels perfect. Chris Kraft, Band's Sponsored of Donut County is the perfect amount of video game. It's a funny, surreal story about remote control holes that is a joy to play. One that does not overstay its welcome. Alex Worrell, before diving into where Florence is a unique experience, the developers deserve credit for making a game that's the perfect length of time, clocking in at around 2 hours. Florence tells a story about love at a great pace. The game takes the generic formula of a traditional relationship, meeting, falling in love, falling out of love, but it tells it in such a different way through effective use of simple mechanics, powerful score, and a unique art style. Games without a lot of dialogue, a text need to go the extra mile to convey an engaging and emotional story effectively, and Florence absolutely nails it. No story spoilers will be given away, because it's a game that needs to be played in order to fully grasp the impact it has. Florence is made for mobile, and other short, narrative games would find themselves a great home on the platform. Mobile is confined to a very small subset of mechanics, tapping, swiping, or holding an icon on your screen. Those constraints serve as powerful storytelling tools right for innovation. The game in its entirety is made up of small, digestible vignettes of very personal and intimate moments in adult relationships where both the good and the bad are shared in a special way. Make it well. 11-bit Studios. FROST PUNKWAS the 2018 game I could never stop thinking about. From the moment my poor survivors each the totemic generator, sitting in the frozen Arctic North, every decision I spent with this society simulator helped me reckon with the demons of authoritarianism and how much control and lies You can tell yourself in the name of the greater good. False pranks that for design means that it's not just an arbitrary moral messenger here to warn you of the wills of a police state, a theocratic regime. It's crafted to guide you on a path of different paths of pain points, to remind you that just because you did not commit higher crimes against freedom, your lesser decisions still infringed on the rights of your people, and as the pressure drops, and your city is freed from the frozen snow, in a great sigh of relief, you will look at its become and see how even its physical shape was impacted by how much you do give up in the name of survival. Brian Francis.